Hey. This is crazy. This one feel like hitting the buzzer beater or something. Championship game. Dream team. Feeling better than I ever been. Cairo in his bag, this beat is heaven sent. Back up in my element. New whip, trunk up in the front, I whip an elephant. It's all limo tent, that's how you move when you the president. You asking off stream, treat him like my last name. Disrespecting, you just signed a check for a long day. Appetizer rappers, you will never be an entree. Really, you a condiment. And I hope y'all follow this. Crazy how people with the most money lack the common sense. Batman over Gotham, how I'm over shit. Running this game, now they finally noticing. Hear us on TV like, damn, yup, I know that's them. Just had to pay the dues. Now I feel like we could never lose, but it's us against the world. Now we finally got the tools. Watch a few years later, turn a puddle to a pool. We just gotta keep it hot to keep the family living cool. All we do is win like a size dad. I just bought my mom a Louis V bag. I just took little bro to BB Simons. Finna put my fam on the island, that's off one check. But I can't get reckless. The next one's out.
We are live, man. Welcome into the Coach's Corner.
Hey.
Myself, my guy, Coach Fred, of course, sponsored by Twin P Whiskey Tropical Distillers, man. Shout out to our guys, the Pouncey Twins. Make sure you go check them out at Tropical Distillers and get you some Twin P Whiskey. But, Coach, man, let's waste no time. We got two very special guests today, man. Give these gentlemen the intro they deserve, man.
Man, first of all, we got international superstars with us today, man. We got TV star, reality star, just a plain down, just a good football coach. My boy, Coach JB. Coach JB.
What up, fellas? I appreciate you.
World renowned. Thank you for coming through. And then we also got two-time Super Bowl champ, one-time World Bowl champion, three-time Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl champion, Florida State great, my man, Dedrick Blade Johns. What's going on, Blade?
Hey, what's up, family, man? Hey, appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you coming back on. And you know how we do it in the lounge, man. We gonna smoke this undercrown. I don't know what Coach JB got. What you got, Coach?
Slap dick, brother. My own line.
I keep trying to get down with you, but you won't let me be a slap dick with you. But at some point, we gonna hook up. You gonna send me some of them things, and we gonna rock. You know what I mean? I'm waiting on it. What you got, Blade?
You know, I ain't hard like Coach JB, man. I got a little tobacco, man. You know, that's the sweet. I ain't hard like JB.
Hey, it's at your own pace, baby. A little bit of this.
I'm gonna send you guys some.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna hold you to it, Coach.
No doubt.
All right, man. Let's jump into this thing, man. We got a quick little portal talk, man. College football, the state of it, where we think we add in the whole nine. But we'll let you guys intro yourselves just a little bit. For the folks that don't know you, man, Coach JB, if you don't know Coach JB, I don't know where you've been. But we're going to let you catch them up to speed, Coach.
Man, I don't know how you want me to intro myself. Just a slap dick extraordinaire. Shit. Man, you know, hey, I do a show now. You can find me on the Coach JB show every day with my main man, Big Smitty. And we do a show every day, live, 3 hours a morning. And we got big-time guests on every day. And our usuals, and then we get some mainstream guys that come on, and we talk about real talk, life, general, sports, of course, and then I just got everything else in the world going, man. You know, different little ventures going on. So that's where I'm at nowadays, man. After Netflix ended, that's kind of what I do.
Got it. Blade, what about it, baby?
I'm Dedrick Doge, man, a.k.a. The Blade. I'm from New Jersey, man, but I graduated high school in Florida. Graduated from Florida State, played 7 years in the NFL, 2 years in the World League, 2 Super Bowl rings, 1 World League championship ring, been a head coach 4 different high schools, got a state championship as far as that. I just like helping kids, man. I'm here to serve, like Coach JB. You know, I'm a fan of his. You know what I'm talking about? So I feel all like, no, this ain't that dude. Yeah, that's that dude. And so, man, it's an honor, man. It's just an honor, man. Dig. Dig, you excuse me if I call you Dig. I know people on the thing like they don't know you as that, but I'm gonna get caught up because we grew up together. It's just an honor to be on here and be with some great guys, man. Just happy to be able, man, to offer my little 2 cents, man.
Hey, same here. Same here. Shit, I'm glad. Shit, it's my honor.
Well, shit. We'll let the one that's really media kick it off, and that's my boy Blue. Go ahead, Blue.
Nah, man,
I know you got it for him, baby.
Hey, man, this was your idea, and I know a topic you wanted to talk about, and I know both of these gentlemen underneath us got a lot of opinions about it. The transfer portal NIL has taken over college football, and I think, Coach, what was it you texted me the other day? Almost 3,000 kids since the second window's open has hit the portal.
3,300 kids.
Your two guys' opinion on how different college football recruiting is now that you have a free-for-all transfer, because now kids can transfer as many times as they want, immediate eligibility, and on top of that can be making, tons of NIL money, man. Y'all's thoughts on that? We'll start with Coach JB.
Man, I'm out the game as far as that part goes, but speaking of what it's doing to our youth is the issue. Like, I see it all the time. I speak to kids and coaches all the time, clinic coaches all the time. The kids haven't changed much. The parents have, obviously. The coaches have, from 7-on-7 movement, youth football, high school. I got an old adage, man. You either coach it or allow it, and we're allowing it at an all-time high, and it's not in a good manner. The thing is, the bottom line is we're allowing these transfers. And listen, I'm old school, man, probably like Fred and Blade. I'm all for paying the kids. We all should have been paid. We've been saying that forever. I don't know if I agree on how they're being paid. Obviously, it's pay to play now. But the pay is not the issue. It's the portal. If you eliminated the portal and you figured a way to pay them, you would have a much better product, in my opinion. But now we're allowing transfers at an all-time rate. And I don't know if kids will ever understand that they need to develop tough skin anymore. They now are being told they can do whatever they want. They are basically 17 to 21-year-olds being told that they're basically we giving them the keys to the Lamborghini, and we haven't even taught them how to drive. And it's crazy to me that we believe that that's going to be conducive for success in the long run. Not just football, man. It's talking about after football, because as we know, this shit is really short-lived. It's 1%ers that make it. The rest of us got to go get real 9-to-5s or whatever they may do nowadays. And I don't know if it's sustainable. I know it's not sustainable. I don't know if it's conducive and if it's the best thing for these babies. At the end of the day, they're still babies. People don't understand. 17, 21-year-olds, they want to talk about that grown man shit. And they ain't paid a bill. They ain't put a kid through college yet. They don't even change the oil in the car. And we talking about, here's $1 million. Well, if you gave any of us in this room $1 million at 17, 21 years old, we'd all be dumb and broken. What to do with it? No. So these kids now control. I guess my point is, if there's no hierarchy, we're going to see mass hysteria. Not only in football, but in society in general. We're seeing crazy mass chaos, man, and I'm that and told that, you're JB, you're the old man on the porch yelling loud. It's changed the game now, blah, blah, blah. Andy, but what hasn't changed is tough work, tough nose, hard work, and desire still gives the best results. And we're skipping all over that shit. We're skipping right over all those things. And these kids now, when the going gets tough, they just get going. There's no more fighting, grinding, struggle, coming from the mud. They all want to say that shit, but they ain't coming from the mud no more. These cats can leave as soon as the first adversity hits them. So I don't agree with it, man. And I'll leave it at. They say I'm crazy because I say that I don't believe kids should be able to transfer. Their argument is, well, coach has been transferring their whole life. They take a better job every year, blah, blah, blah. Here's my argument, and I'm standing to it. A 40-year-old that's been coaching 20 years, who played 20 years plus, 50 years old, been in the game 35, 40 years of his life. providing for his family, just as any 9-to-5 worker does, deserves the right to move up the scale. He deserves the right to move up. He's put in his dues. 17 to 21 years old have not paid their dues. I don't care what you say about, oh, they're equal as coaches. Well, if they're equal as coaches, then and can move around like coaches can, well, you're seeing it right now. You're seeing a watered down product on the football field because this is what we've created. And I don't believe they should be able to transfer at any given time. Earn that shit. They're 17 to 21 years olds. They're telling, when I see a kid in a store tell their mama what they will and won't eat, there's a problem, dog. And it starts with football. And I'm just telling you, we all can laugh and shit, and you know it's real. Sports dictate a lot of what happens in society. And nowadays we're looking at it and we're like, oh, shit. You know, kids now controlling this thing. It is player empowerment to the fullest. And it's the first time ever, Blade, that it's ascending upwards. Meaning, it used to be NFL players do some dumb shit. The college kid and the high school kid saw it, and they did it. Now, high school kids are transferring 4 high schools in 4 years. They go to college and do the same thing. There's a kid in Miami getting his 9th year of eligibility. So now, guess what they do in the NFL, Blade? They demand a trade under contract. It is reversed. It is going upwards in this transfer portal era. And I'm like, damn, we're in an upside down world, man. It's inside out right now. And I don't know what's next, but that's just my 2 cents.
Go ahead, Blade.
Man, I loved everything he said. I guess I could be considered as the old school cat as well. I don't know. I try to be as optimistic as I can. You know what I'm saying? Because eras do change, you know, from the 1950s all the way. You know what I'm saying? And you try not to be that cat that's up in there. But we do know when it comes to competitive sports, what it takes to be able to, like, you got to go through some adversity. You got to put in your time. Coach Fred, you know, I've said this to you many times. I'll never trade my era for no era. Not this era. I don't care how much money they're making. I just love my era. Let me tell you why I love my era. Because when I went to Florida State, I came in with Deion Sanders and Sammy Smith and Odell Higgins and all those guys, and we deemed ourselves the class of '85. You know what I'm talking about? And so, like, none of us transferred nowhere. You know, and it's kind of like when I was at Marbury. Me and you was at Marbury, Diggum. And even though Lakeland was a better school and Bartow had a better team, I didn't aspire to go to Marbury. I mean, I didn't aspire to go to Bartow. I didn't aspire to go to Lakeland. I want to stay with my brothers and build something where I was. I just think there's no loyalty now. Like it's like JB say, man, it's all about money right now. You know, I looked at it like, and I might be going out of bounds with this right here, but I don't care. I said, man, it's kind of like the guy with 2 baby mamas. And he gonna go to the next baby mama because she get more money on her little check. You know what I'm talking about? But he don't like her. But he gonna go with her because he get more money. That's all it is. This cat's looking for. And on top of that, they not willing to work. Like Coach JB said, man, they not willing to work. And so I'm happy. Like, we lived together when I was at Florida State. We banged together. We practiced together. We did everything together, and it meant something to us. You got these guys that transfer. And we had some that come to Florida State. In my heart, he's not a Florida State guy. If you come to Florida State just for your senior year, and now you jump into the draft, you're not Florida State. You know what I'm saying? You wherever you picked when you first came out, and you had all the hats and the shirts and the jacket, and you threw this and threw this and threw that. You did that stuff. And you had, I'm going to USC, and everybody is happy. And you get there, and now you're not starting, but you don't want to work. You don't want to bang and work. And so now you transfer to wherever you transfer at. You know what I'm saying? Where they don't have a defensive back or a running back, and now you can just be plugged in there. So I think that transfer over into life. I was talking about that today in the classroom because, you know, I teach now. And I said, all right, then you're going to, you know, hopefully one day, man, y'all find y'all a girl and y'all get married and you have a family. You're going to go through some adversity. So since you go to some adversity, what you going to do? You're going to bounce? You're just going to leave and go where? Or you're going to battle through and work your way up through that, man, and do what you got to do as far as on that. These kids right now are soft when it comes to that. I'm looking at Commander McLean. Now, he's a Polk County guy. I look at Sam McCall. Sam McCall's on his third school in 3 years. You go to Florida State, Texas A&M, and now you about what? And you thinking this? You blaming coaches? No, the brother, that's you. That ain't no coaches, because you don't want to sit there. Commander, you don't want to sit there and compete. You with one of the all-time great corners, ever Hall of Famer, and you don't want to be up on it. You talking about clicks, man? Ain't about no clicks. It's all about playing and doing what you're supposed to do. These cats don't want to battle no more, but they find a hard line when they get to the NFL, though. Because in the NFL, you just can't jump out there like that. You cannot do it. And you're going, hey, so when the real world hits you, man, it's like the gorilla. It's going to choke you out, because now, like Coach JB said, you're not prepared to deal with it, because you've been spoon-fed, able to bounce and double dutch everywhere that you want to go. Now, I'm not trying to sound like the and you got to be. I just think they need to find a median for it. You know what I'm talking about? Of course, I want cats to get paid, but just that balancing. I know back when I played, when you transferred, you had to sit out a year. That kind of discouraged you a little bit. Kind of make you want to I might need to I don't want to sit out. But once you give it where you can transfer and play automatically, and like Coach JB said, you are not an adult, you are not grown. So you're not to the same standards I am. I don't work my way to be where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I can move up and change different jobs. You ain't done that yet. I can say you're 17. You still not independent. Can't take care of yourself. Can't. You know what I'm saying? And gonna blow that little change you got, man, in 6 months. That little change you get, you're gonna blow it on family and the whole nine and be broke by the time night. Now, will that help you get to the league? Will that help you get to the next level? Is that your aspiration? Is your aspiration to graduate, get to the league? What is it? Or is your aspiration right now just to try to get money and play right away in the whole nine? So what is your why as far as on that? I appreciate my time. Me and my brothers, man, we still tight to this day. I don't like where it's headed. I think something need to come to normalize it a little bit, Coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, to make it make sense, you know what I mean? Because right now, like you say, Coach JB, guys just jump in 330. Well, you saw how many in there, Coach Fred? How many in the portal?
3,500.
3,500 cats just jumping in the portal like they're all-stars. Now, where you think you going? You going to Alabama? You going to Oklahoma? You think you going to USC? Where you going? You don't even know. You just jumping in the portal hoping somebody snag you and give you a little NIL money. You chasing the bag. You see what I'm talking about? But that's not going to help you in life, yo. That's not going to help you in life when you get into adversity and different things like that, how to learn how to fight through like we did. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I worry about when it comes to our youth with this, with the free agency type deal. That's my little 3 cents.
You know, but before I let Coach Fred hop in here, Coach JB, you said something about the play on the field declining. And this is a debate we had last week, man. Shout out to our guy, Josh, HBCU Nightly, Coach KJ Black for the Falcons. Offensive line specifically the play has really plummeted throughout college and even at the NFL individually. Is that it? When you look at just when you guys all got into coaching, is that a position that you have noticed has started to trend downwards, and is there a correction for it, or why do you think that is, that we see worse and worse offensive line play across football from the high school to the NFL level?
Well, here it's what Blade just said. Basically, defense has always been ahead of offense, especially early on. If you teach the mindset of see ball, hit ball, you can get 11 hats to the ball. They don't really got to know a lot. They just got to be tenacious, ball hawks. Pursuit drills was a common theme we did until we fucking bled, right? We did that shit all day, every day, because it was number one. Get to the ball. You didn't have to know what gap sound was. You didn't have to know what any of that. You just got to the ball and you had the dogs. Then guess what? You were going to be in the game. Imagine that. Pin my ears back, and I put Myles Garrett at 5 technique, and I say, go get the passer. And he's going against a new tackle on the same team every week. Just put it in perspective is what get what I'm saying. O-linemen are transferring at all-time rates. Players are transferring at all-time rates. There's a reason why the injuries are up higher than we've ever seen. 900-plus injuries in the NFL last year, all-time high. Soft tissue, by the way, most of them. Hamstring, shoulder, quad, Achilles, ankles. Why is that? So if I were at Florida State and I had Coach Bowden coaching me and he taught me to take the air out, upfield shoulder, run my feet, if that was our tackling philosophy, and I were to transfer and I went to Florida, and the new coach taught me to run my feet, keep my eyes down, and run through the tackler, a whole nother philosophy, guess what? That's 2 philosophies in a semester, basically. Now do that times 4, because now you got cats going to 4 high schools learning 4 different ways to play. Not only tackling on defense, but guess what? Kick step on offensive tackle. What we do philosophy-wise is our 6-inch split. Do we have a foot split? Are we 6-inch zone step guys? Are we pick up, put down zone guys? What are we? It's a whole nother thing. There's no way you can tell me that offensive linemen are learning football the same way they used to when we have 4 different terminologies in 4 years because we transfer so damn much. Number one. Number two, times that with every single different weight, strength, and conditioning coach you're getting at those schools. So now I got 4 different strength conditioning coaches teaching me 4 different ways how to power clean, squat, bench. Now guess what? Now you're seeing soft tissue injuries at all-time high because now we go from maybe dynamic warm-up to straight up, now we static stretch at this school. And now this kid goes out there and kick steps against Myles Garrett and blows his hammy out because he ain't used to the speed. Whatever it may be, my point is we got too many philosophies. We're transferring too much. There's no continuity in anybody, and any offensive lineman takes, the last time I checked, there's 5 of them bastards, and they got to be on the same page. And if they're not on the same page with the running back and the QB understanding who the mic is and the adjustments on who's hot, who's not, side adjust, etc., that all goes into protection, then guess what? Myles Garrett's beating the hell out of my tackle every time because there's no schematic. I can't slide to you because we don't know. My quarterback don't know. And now we're getting hit in the mouth. Defensive linemen are always going to be an offensive lineman to a point, and if he don't know what he's doing, or if he's learning 5 different things. So I believe that's number one. Number two, we give everybody a trophy. And when we started doing that, we created a, it's okay, son. You get your ass whipped, it's okay. Swap a jersey after the game, though. Let's swap jerseys, make sure we're homies. There's no more choking your ass out no more and putting my cleat on your neck. There's none of that no more. Everybody's cool now because we're all chasing the bag now. We used to chase a school. My daddy went here. I'm going there. It's a tradition. We got legacy. There's none of that no more. They don't care anymore about any of that. They can go from Oregon to Alabama to USC to Ohio State and not give a shit about any of those traditions at either one of those 4 major blue bloods. And they could care less if you give them a bag. And you're seeing cats. You've never seen a cat leave Alabama and go to goddamn Akron. It's happening. So, like, think about it. It's crazy, man, where we are. And I just want you guys to do this for me. Type in on your phone one day, text somebody, decommitment, the word, and see if it don't auto spell and correct it. Because it doesn't exist. The word don't even fucking exist in a dictionary, man. The word don't exist. And Blade brought up a point. The Blade brought up a point. You get married and you got some trials and tribulations hit your ass. Guess what? You either fight through it or you divorce real quick. Because that's what's called decommitment. There's no such thing. We commit to you or we don't get married. These cats are committing to a school, and then they want to do a 6-page dissertation on why they decommitted. It don't even make no sense. There ain't no such thing as decommitment. So the whole thing, the social media thing is a whole nother world to talk about, a whole nother show. But, you know, these kids do a letter on decommitting, and everybody out there, every slapdick on social media tells him what a great job he's doing, leaving school A to go to school B. And you're right, you should have decommitted. The coaches played you, and it's political, and you got played. I'm going to tell you right now, the number one reason why most coaches won't admit to it, but I'm going to tell you right now why they're leaving school A to go to school B. It's nothing more than peer pressure. It's peer pressure from their peers on social media because Fred and I were both 5 stars at Lakeland High School, and we go to Florida State. And what happens is Fred cracks the starting lineup as a freshman and plays. I didn't make it. I'm getting redshirted. Now the homies are clowning me on Twitter because we were both 5-star big-time players at the same school. We're boys. We go to Florida State. I'm supposed to automatically start as a freshman now, and I don't. So I'm getting clowned on social media by a bunch of nobodies. And now I get peer pressure, and now I transfer to LSU. And the first thing is, Coach played me. Coach lied. I don't want to compete. I'm getting redshirted. I can't get redshirted. My ego's going to get stroked wrong. So I got to bounce, and now I got to out. I got to out now. Instead of fighting and competing, I got to out to go to another school because I wasn't good enough to start, or I wasn't mentally or physically ready. How many great players played it for Nick Saban or Pete Carroll that had to be redshirted? I got Trent Richardson on my show every week, and he talks about it all the time. He's like, man, if we wouldn't have redshirted, dog, we would have never made it. And if we would have been allowed to be able to transfer, our dumbasses probably would have transferred just to play somewhere, and we would have never made it. We'd have never got the shot to the league. Julio Jones, Trent, all these guys he talks about at Alabama during that time. It goes that way for a lot of schools. Blade probably could say the same thing about him and Dion and everybody else. Like, I talked to Travis Johnson, who's also a Florida State alum. We grew up together in Compton. We talk about it all the time. He said the same thing at Florida State when he was there. If he would have left, shit, like, he would have been nothing. But he stuck it out because, Bowden and everybody else was like, you ain't going nowhere. But the recruiting has changed. There's no more relationship built with the mamas who are shot callers in this whole thing, but people don't want to talk about. Let's be real, in the inner city, it's the mamas. It ain't the daddies. The daddies, hopefully we got a daddy involved, but if not, it's the mama who, God bless their soul, raising 2, 3, 4 kids, working 2, 3 jobs, trying to be the best daddy they could be, but they can't be a daddy. It's just impossible to be a daddy as a mama. Can't raise a boy to be a man as a female. I don't care what anyone says. God bless their soul, and they do a hell of a job, but it is the truth. And the truth hurts people, and then they call you a hater and all that old shit. The bottom line is these kids are getting taught the wrong thing because kids ain't changed, in my opinion. They just know what they know, and they don't know what they don't know. And we're creating a soft ass, and soft asses create hard heads.
And with that, you kind of touched into what I wanted to get to with both of y'all being, former coaches. The way recruiting has changed, Coach. Indeed, you were just in the college game last season. When you talk about the offensive lineman, and it's really any position, the way people recruit now, I just want to get your thoughts on it. There's very few of us that are going out and actually hitting the road. I can offer Coach JB at 3 o'clock. I can offer Blade at 3:01. And right behind that, now I just left your school, and right behind that, you have schools that will double those offers. I think that has played into it as well as far as the internet recruiting. And I'll go to you on it first, Blade. What are your thoughts on that? Because I think this plays into the problems that we're having now because, again, as you said, Coach JB, there's no old school relationship established. Used to be I could show up, put the work in, I'm calling you like we dating. And now
for 4 years.
For 4 years. And now somebody who has somebody in the department watching the Twitter, oh, JB Blade just posted an offer from Fred U. We got an offer. We don't even know this kid, but we're going to shoot this offer. And now the kid is posting this offer. Now the kid is posting this offer. And he's seen none of those. What are your thoughts on the internet recruiting that's going on?
Not to interrupt before Blake go real quick. There is a cold part about the cold part of that is cats used to offer my kids and they come in the office and say, Coach, Ole Miss offered me. Ole Miss come to school on Monday, head coach at the time, sits in my office, puts his feet on my desk. I fucking pushed them motherfuckers off my desk. And I said, hey, did you know Malik Henry robbed McDonald's last night? And he said, what? I go, you offered him, right? Yeah, Coach, we offered him. I go, you offered him without the head coach knowing. And I'm going to sit here and tell you he's got 4 Ds and an F and robbed McDonald's last night. You knew that, though, right? So you did a hell of a job recruiting because you already knew that, so you don't need my help then. And then I walked out the office, and they just sat there. And he just got the job at Ole Miss that week, I think. He came in to visit. And he wrote me a written letter and said, you know what, we've lost our integrity. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
I said, here's the problem. You know what he told me though? That also taught me something that what you're saying. That's why I wanted to get this in.
Yes.
They have to keep up with the Joneses now. So LSU offered him, to your point on Twitter. They saw it and they immediately offered him, and they didn't know shit about this kid. And I said, you're about to get this kid a $200,000 scholarship, and you don't know that he robbed McDonald's. He didn't really rob McDonald's, but I was making a point. I'm like, you really going to offer this kid without knowing anything? And then what happens is, Fred, Blade, the kid's a shitbird, and he goes to Ole Miss and gets kicked out or goes to jail or gets whatever. Guess whose fault it is? Guess who's the shitbird now? Coach JB. He sent me a shitbird. No, he didn't. I never vouched for the kid. You offered him without me even knowing. See, that's what's happening a lot of times right now too in this business, and it along with poaching and stretch lines during the actual game. And you know that, Fred, about what's going on with that. That's what's killing it right now for me. But I didn't mean to interrupt Blade.
No,
No.
man. Go JB, speak your deal, man. I'm just sitting there soaking it in because everything you're speaking is true and it's what needs to be heard. All right, I'm gonna give you an analogy. And I'm gonna change it like, all right, we're gonna say gang culture. Cat go over, he be a Crip. How many Crips you know is supposed to be Bloods? You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna go, all right, I'm gonna switch from that. I'm not in the streets no more. I'm gonna go Greek. All right, I go Q. How many Qs you know switch and go be Kappa? You see what I'm talking about? It don't happen. Cats fight through some things. I'll be worried about cats for a while. I'm talking about loyalty, commitment, far as them through life. You get a lot of cats, they'll talk about, I'm doing what's best for me. Coach Bowden used to always tell us, what you do affects more than just yourself. It ain't just about you, bro. You know what I'm talking about? You thinking it's just about you. If you're not living in this world by yourself, you know what I'm talking about? What you do affects more than just yourself before you make that decision. Now, I will say, Coach Fred, that what you're saying about social media, it's peer pressure. Social media is peer pressure for cats, man, and they got a lot of pride. But a cat told me, man, when I was in the league, his name was Rod Perry. He coached me. You know, Dig, I was always a volatile cat in my mind and speaking my mind, opinionated.
Great coach right there.
Rod Perry was laid back. He looked at me, he said, look, pride hard to swallow, but it'll go down. So a lot of these kids got pride. Yeah, and it will go down. You know what I'm saying? And so right now, like what Coach JB saying, the cats feel entitled, and if they're not starting from straight coming out freshmen, not willing to work their way up. Corey Fuller, who's at Florida State right now.
Boucher, shout out Boucher.
When Boucher came out, I was his host. And I remember him coming to me because I was his host. And he said, what y'all gonna do for me? He said, Georgia say I can come in and start right now. I swear. I said, you need to go to Georgia because you're not gonna come in here and start right now at Florida State. I'm telling you that right now. And so Boucher said, he thought about it. He said, you know what? I want to earn my way. And he came to Florida State and he earned his way. You know how many DBs we was putting out back then in the whole nine. You know what I mean? So, like, just that mentality helps him not only in athletics, but in life. We talking about life. Fellas, y'all know how short this window is as far as ball. This catch out this little change, man. Do you know how much longer you got to live? You know what I'm saying? And what you got to fight through, and you're not willing to fight through it now. You're willing to bounce because they gave you that loophole to be able to bounce. It is crazy. On have no. I was telling some guys here at the high school I work at, Westgate. They was in the classroom talking, and these guys come up through middle school, and now they all come to the high school together. You see what I'm talking about? And I'm saying, you get even in college, and I'm recruiting you, Zach, because I'm going to LSU, and I'm saying, Zach, come to me with LSU. Coach Fred, come here. JP, we're going to go to LSU. We're going to turn this thing around. We're going to do it. And I'm there 1 year, and I don't start. Y'all do, or whatever, and I leave. We talking about integrity. You know, when we talking about loyalty. We talking about just, I'm not talking about somebody getting treated bad and things like that. I'm talking about these guys ain't bad. I'm saying, like, just being able to work your way through something to be there. But to answer your question, Crow Fred, Yeah, the social media is really big because cats posting on all the different sites from X, Twitter, whatever, and they want to look a certain way. But that goes to pride again, right? That goes to pride again. You know what I'm saying? Pride hard to swallow. Coach Perry told me, but it will go down, brother. And if it don't go down now, it's gonna go down in real life with you, man. Because but them little loopholes you got right now is a big bad wolf out there in real life, man. It's not like that out there. You just can't sit and bounce from here to here to here to here, or job to job to job. Man, you got to earn it, and that's what all of us are talking about right now. I just wish there was a meeting where we still hold them accountable to earning it. I love my class of '85. You know what I'm saying? We never bound. We had some guys who were like, oh, I should have went to Ole Miss. I should have did this, but they never left. They never did it. Now, maybe it was because they would have to sit out a year. I don't know. But they never left. And they finished and they graduated. And now the majority of them, men, are doing well off in life. I just don't like how guys go 1 year and just leave. You know, they're always talking about, I'm doing what's best for me. I'm doing what's best for me. Man, that's an excuse, bro. That's a lame excuse for you to just choose to be able to bounce. I'm mad, I'm just doing what's best for me. Or I'm at this job, I'm just doing. Now, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? What you do affect more than just yourself. It's not just you as far as on that. And so if you're trying to prepare yourself for longevity and fighting through life, then you need to fight through something. Coach JB, your show was awesome. You had last chance dudes that nobody wanted to mess with. This your last chance, bro. This is it. You know what I'm talking about? And you kept it real with them cats.
It's funny you say that. It's funny because, like, so people think I'm hating on Dion and his kids and shit, because on my show, I got Matt McChesney, who's a Colorado alum, and my best friend was at Colorado national champ, Darian Hagan. You probably both know. So we grew up together, you know. So he's now at San Diego State. He was at Colorado for 30 years, and he won the Natty there as a quarterback. Then he's been coaching there through 10 head coaches, and he left, and he bounced with Sean Lewis, the OC at the time that Dion hired, and they bounced. And so I have always been I had 4 kids playing there when Dion took the job, that was on the show, obviously. And I was like, so Shiloh posted a tweet basically at me saying, we don't want no kids like Last Chance U. So I did a video like, son, this is Last Chance U. College football has become JUCO football, whether you know it or not. It is a 2-year mercenary business. Dion, look at his turnover. 80 kids in 2 years in the transfer portal. This is the business now. It is JUCO to the fullest. So you could say that and clown and all that. It's all good. I don't care. But this is Last Chance U, because think about it. You're taking kids from other schools, what a JUCO does. You're taking other people's trash, what a JUCO does. You're taking kids that get kicked out of a school, what a JUCO does. You also trying to get them out of your school in 18 months to 2 years, what a JUCO does. So, like, this is completely turned to JUCO football, and it's unbelievable. And that's probably why they don't want my ass coaching in it, because I'll turn that shit out. But they don't want that. So, but like, they think I'm hating, and I'm like, I talked to Dion. I'm like, he's like, JB, you a real one. Keep doing you. I said, listen, Prime, I ain't ever assassinated his character, the kid's character, none of that shit. I'm just talking from a former player to a coach's perspective. Dion's still a new booty in this thing. Nobody wants to talk about it. He's still learning this business, which is a cutthroat one in the coaching business. And my whole thing on that is they're putting that target on their chest, and to me, it's setting them up for failure, and that's what I don't want to see. And they call me a hater. I'm like, no, I don't want to see Dion fail, because they're putting this target on their chest out there with, you know, social media, all that stuff that they do, fine and dandy, cool. But at the end of the day, dog, you know this, Blade, you're going to have to win games. And they're going to call you a villain or a hero. And it comes down to winning games, and that's the unfortunate part. Because look people talk shit. Dog, how many cats was calling him a sellout when he left Jackson State? Because he left HBCU.
Every one of them.
Hey,
come on, man.
Coach JB. Hey, Coach JB, to piggyback off that, you know, Prime is my brother. You know what I'm talking about? And, of course, I love his kids. You know what I'm talking about like that. Shiloh, be quiet. This is your 3rd school. You went to South Carolina.
JUCO.
Jackson State. and now you're at, hush. Hush, bro. You know what I'm saying? If it weren't for your daddy, you might not be where you at right now, no whole nine. You was at South Carolina. Be quiet now, brother. You see what I'm talking about? Far as
Jackson
on that
State. Yeah.
prime, Deion played at Florida State his career. And then he left and went on in there. You don't have no voice on that. You don't have no leverage for us on that. You live off your daddy for us on that. And that's cool. But be quiet on speaking on things, man, when you don't really got no experience of far as on that, because this is your third school, bro. You could have easily stayed at South Carolina State and made your own name. You could have easily stayed at Jackson State and made your own name. But now you at Colorado. You think I'm talking about?
And I was the first one. I was the first one. A lot of brothers was throwing Deion. Oh man, you're a sellout, Uncle Tom. I was like, what? You ain't leaving Jackson State to go to Colorado? You a fool. You stop.
I am.
Exactly. and I was the first one to say that. But when I said that, I was all good. But now I'm talking about the coaching part. Now I'm a hater. I'm like, see, these cats can't handle the truth, man, is what it is. And I think Deion would tell you even. He knows what I'm saying.
Yes,
and the bottom line, yeah, it's like, come on, man.
Does.
This thing is turned upside down, and these kids, we've enabled them or entitled them at the all-time level. Like, we've created soft asses, it's created hard heads, and it goes the other way too. We create hard heads, it creates soft asses. We're in the jersey swap era, what I call it, and everybody gets a trophy. Look at the NBA, man. They got a play-in tournament. They got a mid-season tournament. They got tournaments for everybody now because now the 10th seed and the 9th seed deserves to get an opportunity to play. What happened to just 1 through 8? You didn't make it. You weren't good enough. Like, I don't get it. Now everybody, we added bowl games. Fred, exactly right. Fred, we talking 12-game playoff next year for the first time. But it's already going to 14. We ain't even seen 12 play yet. Like, what are we doing, man? And I'm tired of hearing student athlete. I'm tired of hearing the NCAA talk about student athletes because there ain't no student athletes no more. Because if you can transfer in the middle of a semester to Blades Point, we couldn't transfer because, first of all, you couldn't get out of school. You was gonna get a lock. You was gonna get a lock on that transcript. You was gonna get a lock on that transcript and have to call mama to get some money. Number one. Number two. Now you can just transfer anywhere academically and football. And you know damn well it ain't about academics because they don't care. If they did care, they wouldn't let you transfer in the middle of a semester with a D grade. So the kid just left Alabama, goes to Iowa, and now he went back to Alabama. Now he back in the portal. What? Come on, man.
They got that term now that I think on 3-Star is like short-term signee, where you enroll in a school in December and transfer by January.
But to Blade's point, I want to be clear. Like, we're talking about the kids being soft and all that. It is true, but like somebody's taught them to be soft, and the rules have declared, or the rules have allowed the kids to be soft. Because I guarantee you, if you gave us an inch at 17, we're taking a foot. These kids is taking miles now because we've given them feet, and it's like, if I'm throwing money at these kids, cars, you show up to Florida State right now. Because, you know, my kid, first rounder, Jermaine Johnson, who played at Florida State his last year, was ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he bad boy.
Dog, the parking lot is all Hellcats and like, it looks like an NFL locker. It looks like an NFL parking lot. We're in college, and you wonder why these kids are and God, I pray to these kids, but we've seen the Jalen Carters. We've seen a person lose their life. We've seen the Ruggs kid with the Raiders. We just saw the kid, Rashee Rice, walk away after hitting a kid and his mama on the freeway in Dallas. These cats are getting money and stuff they never knew how to manage, and we're seeing them.
What's the median, Coach JB? Like, I heard some people talking about putting a cap on, since we already there now, it ain't gonna leave. Putting a cap on it, you know, like in the NFL or whatever. Yeah. Putting a cap on it, where you know what I'm saying. As far as on that. I got
Tank Johnson on my show every week. I got Sean King on my show every week. Sean King's on Thursdays, and he mentioned the exact thing. He's like, or what you do is, if you transfer, you can't get an NIL at the new school for the first year. That would eliminate the shit right now. I'll tell you right now. If you can't get an NIL at the new school for a year, it's gonna be like we were when you don't want to transfer because you have to sit out a year. So it's because it's all about the money now. So
It is.
if I can't get money there, then maybe it'll make me stay here and grind. I don't know. You really don't know, because the NCAA we thought was going to be was going to try to reel this thing back in, but you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. And the bottom line is the truth of the matter is, the NCAA just made it more laxed. They just said, screw it, just go wherever, anytime. Like, what? I'm just telling you, it's a matter of time before one kid plays at Florida State week 1 and he's at Miami week 10, same year.
Hey, like what you said though, Coach JB, the days of the documentaries of Oklahoma and Jamel Holloway and the U,
my boy,
and these guys, Michael Irvin and Brian Blaze and them boys that came from there, them days are gone right now in this system. As far, and then like when I came through, you know what I'm saying? The days where we came through, them are gone, because you got a guy that'll go there and then he'll leave the next year. Well, who are you?
Hey, Blade, so what are you calling when you go to the league and you're a 10-year vet and you went to 4 colleges? What is your alma mater? What degree?
Look,
what degree? What degree?
I feel you.
What degree? What degree you gonna? What degree you gonna get? I went to Tulane, Oklahoma, Michigan, and like
Who you repping? Who you repping?
Who you repping, dog? Who you repping? And then where's the degree coming from at the end of the day? See, that's what they don't want to talk about. See, that's why it's bullshit. It's all about the money. Then what are we teaching these kids, dog? Because I know a degree from Florida State is a lot better degree than it is, at least to get a job, especially with cats with my skin tone, when they hiring brothers, and we looking at them saying, hold up, Florida State degree, damn, you get the job. But a motherfucker at Akron, he ain't getting a job over a cat with Florida State degree. But guess what? These cats don't even think that way, and nobody's teaching them that. The degree actually holds some weight in life later on. But we got cats going to 4 or 5 schools in 4 or 5 years. Where's your degree really from? What are we teaching these kids? It's adults in the room, man, and I'm never gonna blame a kid for anything, because they don't know what they don't know, and that's the truth of the matter. And these cats don't understand that, and they keep blaming kids. They blame NCAA. They blame the system. Listen, the system's going to be the system. It changes all the time. Our system is not the same system as we had, that they have now, etc. We adapted and overcame. These kids are not being taught to adapt and overcome nothing. They're being taught, here you go, take it.
Hey, but and the probability of them, you starting, I'm going to say Grambling. You starting at Grambling. You're not happy, new coach change, whatever, and you leave and you go to, I don't care, Cincinnati. That don't guarantee you a starting job. Them cats can just bring you in because they just need depth. You know what I'm talking about? Just need depth. So you somewhere where you were starting, you know what I'm talking about, and you leave or you think you're going bigger, you still got to make it. You still got to beat out, you know what I'm talking about, and win the starting position. You still going to have to earn it. Like the NFL. You got to earn it. If we preparing them for the NFL, you still got to earn it. When you go in that camp and it's, 90 now? I know it was 80 when I was in the league. It was 80 guys. I think it's like 90-something now that go in there. You still got to make it because they still only holding 53. You still got to make it. So where you learn that at? Man, I learned it at Marlboro. I learned it at Florida State. I learned it from Coach Andrews and Coach Bowden and them like that. How to fight through that adversity, man, and fight through injuries. You either hurt or you're injured and that kind of deal, man. You fight through it, man, because you trying to play.
But let me ask you something. You had Dion, or let's just say at our age, our era, we had players. We had Steve McNair to look up to.
Yes.
As a quarterback for me, I'm a quarterback. I'm coming out. Steve was, oh man, I want to be like Steve. These kids don't even know who the hell Steve McNair is. They don't even know who O.J. Simpson, Bo Jackson, Eric Dickerson. They have no idea who the greats are in this game. Our kids no longer care about the forefathers that paved the way. And that lack of respect right there is why I cringe every night at how they're getting the biggest bags of all time at the professional level when they really don't care. We've given cats $150 million contracts who haven't busted a grape in a fruit fight. They haven't won anything. And we're giving them a generational wealth. If you gave any of us generational wealth at 21 years old, do you really think, back to my whole injury, philosophy, do you think that they're going to really work out? Look at the bodies in the NFL now, Blade. Just walk around and look at the bodies. You can't sit here and tell me that these cats are NFL dudes anymore. The body types of these guys are sloppy. They're little. They're thin. You could tell they're not lifting and running like we used to. These cats, and I don't blame them because they got $150 million. I'd be in Dubai too, chilling all damn year. Like, these cats ain't grinding no more like they want. They're not earning it no more. They're not earning it no more, in my opinion. And we're giving it to them without them earning it. And that is a huge, huge problem, in my opinion. And that's why I think the lack of respect for the game itself, which you know and I know will eat you up, swallow you, and spit you out.
Did that break Nick? Did that break Nick, Coach JB? Did that break Nick?
Huh?
Did that break Nick Saban? Like, man, bump this in, man.
Oh yeah, it broke everybody. I've talked to all these guys personally. It broke everybody because look. So you're telling me Chip Kelly's gonna give up a head coaching job at a Power 5 and go be a coordinator somewhere? Come on, man. Like, let's keep it real. He don't want to deal with that shit. He don't want to deal with that shit. Nick Saban didn't want to deal with that shit. You know who's ahead of the game though? I'm gonna tell you right now. No one wants to talk about Coach Krzyzewski at Duke. He got out way early. He saw that shit on the wall way early. He was like, I'm out. And that's what's happening, man. Look at the coaches. The Boston College cat left for the coordinator job in the league because he was like, that didn't happen. You didn't leave no Power 5 head coaching job. You're making more money at Boston College. You're making $4, $5, $6 mil. You ain't gonna make that as the coordinator in the league. You make more, maybe $1, $2 mil. Like, it don't make sense. These cats are wanting nothing to do with this thing, man. And I've been told by 2 Power 5 coaches, good friends of mine, and I talked to guys like Sark and Lane and all these different guys who I've known forever. And a lot of them are like, JB, if I can make this money at Walmart, I'd be at Walmart. That's how bad it's gotten. That's how bad it's gotten.
It's so bad, Coach. I talked to probably 3 FCS assistants that said if they got offered a high tier high school head coaching job, they take it over their assistant job right now in the FCS.
Or a tenure track JUCO job in a place like California where you ain't got to really teach and you make $120,000 or $150,000 in benefits and tenure track, meaning they can't fire you, you're tenured, they'll leave in a heartbeat. But that's another part. JUCO's folding, man, in front of our very eyes. And when JUCO folds, we're gonna have a whole nother problem because the portal is killing the lower levels. JUCO and high school, the lack of recruitment, the under-recruitment of those levels. And it started with COVID when they gave that 5th year to COVID. Not only did that cripple the growth of the future, but guess what they've done now? You don't have to have an ACT or SAT score, dog.
Yes.
And what do you think that's doing? So guess what? Those kids usually would have to go JUCO. And I had a lot of NFL kids that weren't recruited out of high school because they had bad grades. And I molded them and got them to the Power 5. They went to the league. That's gone. Those are thousands of kids we're talking about that will never go through any molding or shaping of being a man. Like, they'll never have to face adversity or develop some tough skin or some callus. And everyone thinks they could be a boxer, and then they go and get in a fight and they get hit in the face, and then they're like, oh, I don't want this. It's callous. You got to build it. And we're not building any callous anymore on these kids. We're just giving them everything without them earning it. And it's like, man, I don't see how you put the pace back in the tube. I don't know. Fred's still active in this. Fred, you still active, dog.
Isn't that why Deion said he wouldn't coach NFL? Because he didn't want to deal with that.
I bet you his tones changed. I bet you.
Yeah. But I'm saying this first before it got to where it is now, because he didn't want to. It wasn't like this before.
Nah.
You know what I mean? So he was
because
like, okay.
Deion, he wants to probably mold and teach
Yes.
and give some life advice that he's been through, right?
Yes.
Especially, see that his kids ain't from the mud. See, I'm tired. That's the part I'm tired of hearing. Like, nah, homie, your dad was from the mud.
Yes.
You ain't. Your asses ain't from the mud. So, like, I'm like, dog, generational skips is a real thing. I said, you guys were blessed to be this man's son, and you now have to realize that your pops probably wants to instill that in a lot of people and things, but you can't in this landscape. There's just no way you can do it because you have new kids every Not even every semester anymore, Zach. You got new kids every quarter of the year, 30 days, 60 days. And why are we opening the portal on during the national playoff in football? Why did the quarterback who helped Texas win 3 games when Quinn Ewers got hurt transfer when they're about to play Washington in a Final Four matchup? He transfers. What? You just left your brothers that you bled and sweat with and cried with in the playoffs? I'm telling you right now, man, the 12-team playoff was the worst thing that I've ever seen the NCAA do. It's all about money, I know. But people want to say more is better. No, it's not. More is not better all the time. And I think the 12-team playoff is going to be the worst thing you're going to see, because you're going to see kids sitting out the 12-team playoff too in a minute, because somebody's going to get in their ear and say, "Oh, you're going to make this money in this league. You sit out that game." Let's say Tulane is the 12th seed. Oh, you got no shot against Alabama at the 1. Stop it. Stop it. Why are we doing it? Why are we doing that? It's a joke. And that's what's going to give kids excuses to sit out even those playoff games, because they know they got no shot at going on and winning a natty. And it's going to be an excuse, man. I'm just telling you, watch. It's going to be a joke. 12-team playoff is going to be horrible.
Let me ask you guys, because this is something that blew my mind when I heard it, that they were thinking about having a 3rd early signing day in college football where kids can sign in July before their senior year of high school, which to me just that'd be the worst thing for college football in the world. What is y'all's opinion on that? And if the NCAA goes through with it, how bad is that going to be for the development of some of these kids to be locked into a school before they go through their entire senior season of football?
Coach JB. I say it time and time again, I'm glad I came up in the era that I came up in. I mean, it's hard for me to even comprehend this new era of not earning. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we talking about getting it from the bricks, getting it from the mud, fighting, grinding. It just takes away from that. To me, I'm just looking for the medium. Maybe somebody smarter than me can find me the medium, but they're gonna have to fix it and tweak it a little bit. But like you say, Coach, all of y'all it's all driven now by money. But I think it hurts the student athlete in the real life. You know what I mean? You already just said now, there ain't but 1%, right? 1% that go to that's going to make the next level. You really see how it is once you get there. So that little window you got of 2 years of making whatever little money you making, how long that's going to last you. You know what I'm talking about? You got to prepare yourself as far as when you get out there in real life, man. High school, I've been blessed. I'm going to say I've been blessed. I had good coaches in high school. I had good coaches in every team I played with in the NFL. I had good coaches in the World League. So I was truly blessed to have those type of coaches. And that's how I was able to make it as an undrafted free agent in 12 rounds. I told Cat I ain't get drafted in 12 rounds, and only one team offered me a free agent contract. One. Only one team offered me.
Blaine, you imagine Bobby Bowden not cussing you out?
No.
You imagine did you have what's name still there?
I had Coach Andrews.
Oh yeah, you had Mickey.
So we still scared of Mickey to this day. I am. You know what I'm talking about? To this day. You know what I'm saying?
You wouldn't change it for anything.
Nothing, man. I wouldn't change it for nothing.
These kids now, though, if you yell at them, you're the devil. And these kids are running to their mommy and a 7-on-7 trainer coach, which is the biggest bullshit.
Let me give you an example how it still works. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. When I was a senior at Florida State, Peter Tom Willis was our starting quarterback. Behind him was Casey Weldon. Behind Casey Weldon was Brad Johnson. Yeah. Behind Brad Johnson was Charlie Ward. Yeah. All 4 of them went to play professional ball. Yeah. All 4 of them. Charlie went to the NBA. You know what I'm talking about? Won the Heisman Trophy. Brad Super Bowl champion. Casey played in the NFL. Peter Tom played in the NFL. You know what I mean? But they waited their turn, earned it. Like the running backs, like Alabama when Alabama was Alabama. And them guys just waited their turn. Whenever they came a running back, they knew they was going. But as you say now, it's like, all right, if I want to go somewhere where I can just get in right now, not earn it, but just because they lacking in talent at that level, now I know I can go play without even earning it. I think that hurts them in life. Yeah, it helps you in the now with the NIL money, but it don't help you in the furlong in life. We were talking about life.
I think the thing that got away from it, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, the NIL was name, image, and likeness. There's no name, image, and likeness going on.
My childhood friend Ed O'Bannon was the one that started the lawsuit, man. We went to high school together.
With the game. Yeah.
Yeah, the game. And look, what cats get? $800, $700. You took $1 million motherfuckers and gave them $800. Like, come on, man. It was a
And
joke.
a copy of the game.
The NCAA, the non-caring assholes of America, I call them, still have yet to pay a kid. Now they got the collectives taking on the burden of paying the kid. So they still haven't paid the kid, but yet they're the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Make it make sense. That is straight up good old boy networking. That's how they do it, and that's how it's been. The kids are the pieces of meat in the meat market, always have been, always will be, until somebody says, you know what, NCAA, we don't need y'all. We're going to break away. And that's what I think we're on the precipice of seeing. We're going to break away from the NCAA. At least the Power 5 schools will. And I think what's his name? Greg Sankey or Sankey, the SEC commissioner. He'll be the commissioner of that whole new thing. And I think I'm predicting it now. I said on my show, that's what's going to end up happening. Because until you stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And we have fallen for everything over the years. And you're exactly right. When the NIL came out, Fred, I said it's the worst thing they could do. And everybody's like, why? I go, because the backup left tackle and the third string corner is not selling jerseys in the student store. And that's what NIL was supposed to be. Sell jerseys, get you a little T-Mobile deal or Verizon, get you a little car deal, whatever. The backups ain't getting no money. And what's happening is, Blade, as you know, now when Nick Saban walked into the locker to address his team, half that roster in that locker room was looking straight through on the other side, thinking about the greener pastures, because they're making $300 on NIL, which is, by the way, 90% of the NCAA players are making $300 or less. There's only a few making these millions of dollars. Let's not get it confused. Yes. So how hard would you think it would be, Blade, to Bobby Bowden to walk in and talk to the team, and half y'all making 300, and you know the homie's making $2 million, and you're supposed to get cussed out? You're supposed to get cussed out the same way, though? Nah, it ain't happening. It ain't working. And it's a distinction in the locker room. We've created a horrible situation, man. I'm telling
you. And it started with that, but I want to take it back just a little bit, Coach. It started with you, and I don't want to say the kid's name. I'll let you say it. But you had a high-profile quarterback that came to your program. And he was ahead of the game as far as the NIL. He thought it was supposed to be given. But you held his feet to the fire. I think if that was during the day now, I think even for you at Indy, it would be tough. I don't know how you handle that or how you cut that.
Here's how you handle it. And that's one reason I don't think I could coach anymore. But I do want, one part of me when I go to bed at night is like, first of all, my last fucking year was 2-8. So I want to finish the goddamn thing off. Right. Number one. Number two, though, this is why I want to do it, because I've never lost a kid ever. Never lost a kid and transferred on me. And I just want, we all have our egos in this business. And so I want to test the way. And
we're losing, Coach.
Malik Henry wasn't
Coach in the hills.
Me because my bad. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm in it right.
We got you steady now.
They should still be on. You hear me?
Yeah, we got you steady.
I can hear you. Coach in the bad area.
Yeah, we got you, Coach.
You good?
Yeah, you got me now?
Yeah, we got you.
So what I was saying is, I want to test the waters again, because at the end of the day, I still want to say, nah, I ain't going to lose nobody, even in this era. And how you do it, to answer your question, is Malik Henry was not going anywhere because I had a relationship with his pops. We were boys. Jermaine Johnson, I signed out of high school, and I didn't really talk to the kid at all. People don't know. Those big-time kids I had, the 8 NFL kids on that team, I didn't talk to a lot of them too much. You know who I talked to? The mama, and the mama was not letting that kid leave me because that relationship was so goddamn tight. Not only could I cuss his ass out, and the mama wanted me to be that male role model that he needed, and guess what? The kid wasn't leaving for that reason. I didn't never had to talk to those kids. I talked to the mama or the shot caller, the grandma, the auntie, whoever it was. You can't do it no more, I don't believe. Or Fred, the coaches are just lazy as shit and they don't want to turn over rocks and do it. And I think that, to your point, I can offer you today, I can offer him tomorrow. I don't even got to go to a school. I'm going to do it over Twitter. There's no more relationships being built. And I think if you go back, Fred, it's like this. If I went back to coaching, I'd run 21 personnel. I'd go find me a goddamn lineman, put him at fullback. I'd go give me 2 tight ends, and I'd be running 21 personnel, rotating tight ends, because no linebacker wants to go against a fullback no more in A gap, and they'll turn that shit down. And Harbaugh just showed you can still win doing it.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, it goes to that. I'll do it. I'll do the same thing. I'd go back to old school relationship building, and I'd be the one that does it. I might not get 100 kids no more, but I'm gonna get goddamn 22 real good ones.
They said when Bobby, the old thing, they said when Bobby Bowden went and met the mama, it was a wrap. They said when Bobby Bowden came to your house and met mama or grandmama, it was a wrap.
Pete Carroll, same way. Pete, look, think about it, Coach.
Pete coached me.
Nick Saban dominated the last 10 or 15 years because of what? Because Pete Carroll's in the NFL. Make no mistake about it. And that's coming from Sark and Lane. Because think about it. Those 2 coaches coached for both coaches at their prime. And if Pete didn't go to the NFL, just look at Pete's record when Nick was still coaching. Pete ran college football, not Nick.
He did.
So it changed when Pete went to the league. It's the same thing now. Cats is getting out of this thing right now because they don't want to deal with any hard work anymore. And I'm calling coaches out too, because coaches become lazy because they think it's an excuse to say, oh, well, Fred's just going to take a bigger bag and go to LSU anyway. I'm not even going to bust my ass on the kid. Well, guess what? Stop recruiting 100 of them and recruit 20 of them and put your eggs in one basket and try to get 20 dogs. And I bet you can still do it. But do they want to do the groundwork? I don't think they do anymore, because coaches are making more money than they ever have as well. And when you make that money, man, you become lazy. And that's just fact.
Coach, do you think, because me and Coach talk about it all the time, FCS G5 programs are being left at a tremendous rate in terms of NIL resources, losing kids every year because they have a breakout season and South Carolina is going to come throw $3 million at them. They're going to leave South Carolina State to go to South Carolina. Do you see FCS Group of 5 programs getting more coaches with JUCO backgrounds because of what you talked about earlier, being able to build and win a program with players coming in and out every year or 2 years?
But that goes back to my watered down statement. Why did you throwing money at a Group of 5 cat? You were horrible from the jump in recruiting. Then you did a horrible evaluation. Then if you having to go to FCS to get your talent and your depth and pay him, why didn't you get him in the first place if he was so good? I don't understand what's happening out here, because there's a huge problem, and it starts with evaluation of talent. And the turnover is just, okay, look to Deion's case, okay, we're in the portal. We're losing some, and we're going to get some in return. Sean King came on and made a good point. I would like to hear from Deion, and Blade might be able to get this answer. I would like to hear, Deion, do you think that you made mistakes in the process of recruiting? Meaning, I picked the wrong one. I did a bad personnel evaluation. I did a bad character evaluation. Because, Fred, you know and I know, we're not just giving up cats that easy when we busted our ass to get them from the gate. It seems like we're not really working very hard, because we wouldn't be giving. I would lose sleep, Fred, over losing a kid if I lost a kid, not only for football purposes, but I know he's best with me for life purposes. I would be sick. And now we're just giving them up like it ain't nothing. They're a piece of meat, man. And it's like, when are we going to say enough is enough?
Go ahead, Coach.
I sit here and I sit here and I've been there as a fan, and I say, okay, Leroy Frederick, signed with Florida State, man. I went out and bought his jersey, man. I'm wearing his jerseys to the game and stuff like that. And I'm thinking I'm gonna see this cat at least 3 years, because he's just that type athlete. And he there 1 year, and then he gone now. And now he's at wherever USC or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? In the whole nine. It makes it hard on the whole nine. But like you say, man, I just think everybody cats just chasing the bag. I think it weakens them. I'm always say the life thing, because we know how hard it is to get to the next level. It's hard to get to that next level. And I think they're just looking at the window now as far as the 2 or the 3 years for them to get the bag. You know what I'm talking about? And that the money is really driving them. You know what I'm saying? The money is really driving them. And
the thought of the money.
Competitive, say that? Yeah, man, the lack of
thought of the
competitive spirit. Yeah, the thought. And I'm going to get that right now, not knowing how that's going to hurt you far as in life, far as knowing how to fight. Because once you get out of that and you get into the real world, then you really see. But what prepared you for that? Coach Andrews and Coach Bowd and my coaches that I had at Florida State really prepared me for the NFL. I could go through anything because I went through it in college and I battled through it. And so when I got to the next level, it was nothing for me because I was already experienced and went through that grind of going through it. It wasn't no, oh, I'm not happy because I'm not this and the whole nine, and I'm gonna look for somewhere else that I can go play. And I'm saying that translates to me as far as even in life, as far as like I had a family, you know, my kids and the whole nine stayed there, man. You know what I'm saying? With them in the whole nine. Even when times got hard, man, I battled through it. And I just want them guys to be able to be successful in life. And I also want the game to be, I know it's gone now, but like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I mean, I'm just old school. You know what I mean? I remember when Nebraska was Nebraska and them guys was there the whole time. Oklahoma was Oklahoma and stuff like that. And USC was USC. Penn State was Penn State. And them guys was there. You know what I'm saying? The whole nine. Miami. I can use the U as anything because, you know, the U is well renowned as far as showing shows and stuff. And Michael Irvin was there the whole time and the whole nine. With Michael Irvin leave Miami and go to a Warren Sapp, leave, and go with Bernie Kosar, leave, and go somewhere else, or were they really proud? Like when they chose it, when they chose that school, like I said, they flipped all the hats and zipped the jacket down, and this is where I'm going, and I'm committed. I'm committed to that. As far as on that, and I'm a ride the jive with my brothers all the way to the end. Yeah, it's a cat in front of me that's better. You know what I'm talking about? For me to be the best, man, I got to beat the best. You know what I'm
Think about this,
That's
though.
what I want to do.
You brought up a point earlier. Think about this point. So Shiloh makes it to the league, and let's say he plays in the league 10 years. What college jersey of his are you rocking? If you're a fan, am I getting a Jackson State jersey? Am I getting South Carolina? I'm getting Colorado. Like, the game is just upside down, man. Like, there's no more fans. Like, you imagine a Brian Urlacher having 4 jerseys, or Ray Lewis, or Ed Reed, like a Blade. Like, what jersey? Oh man, I had Florida State, then I had a Florida, and then I had a Miami. There's cats going from Florida to Miami and Florida State, all 3 schools, the hated schools. There's cats going to all 3 of those schools. What?
And to your point, and we'll move it along, man. I know y'all got stuff to do. It is crazy to see guys go from one rival school to the next rival school.
SC
That's
UCLA.
unheard of.
SC UCLA happening like crazy over here. I never heard, man.
Because we didn't grow up that way. We didn't grow
Hell
up
no.
that way. Either you were Florida State, or you were Miami, or you were Florida.
Even if Blade and I grew up together and we're homies, and I chose to go to Florida, guess what? We're homies, but we trying to smack each other's ass that day on that field. And we cool now. We smoke a stick together to this day. But we talk about those man. Remember that game at the Orange Blue? Nowadays, cats is going from Florida to Florida State to Miami, and it's like all good, hugging it up, dapping it up. Hell nah. You ain't going over here. Like, I don't know, man. The game has changed. The kids have changed. I mean, I can't. I don't get it.
My final question, and Blue will have his, and we'll let you guys get out of here. Again, we thank y'all for coming on, and I'm gonna hold you to it, Coach. I'm gonna check the mailbox every day because as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna send you my address to get the JB sticks. But and I'll pose this question to you, Coach JB. If you have a meeting with the NCAA and they give you as they say in those cabinet meetings. They give you 5 minutes to stand in front and give your opinion on how to set this thing straight. How do you do it? What's your message to that committee?
Teach tough skin again. So we got to teach tough skin. Teach the kids how to have tough skin and get through some adversity. Number one would be my pitch I would do. Number two, the NIL is fine because you're not paying them anyway, Mr. NCAA. The collectives are. So if that's the case and you wiped your hands clean, then you need to be the grown-ups in the room, the adults, because shame on us, fellas. We are setting these kids up for mass failure as adults. It ain't the kids' fault. We are allowing these kids to transfer, which is not developing any type of integrity, character, discipline. We know damn well we all needed discipline, especially coming from the hood. We needed to. If I didn't have discipline in Compton coming out, being the only white boy especially, man, I'd be dead or in jail right now. And that's the cold part. We're not teaching any type of discipline. And structure. Structure is a huge thing because structure is going to come in handy when you're a husband or a father. And now we're teaching, we can't, how you going to teach a boy to be a man when everything you teach him is run? Run, run, run. I'm like, well, shit, I don't even want to use the word, but you know what you did when you ran? We called you a bee or, you know, what you running for, little, you know, like what? Like, dog, you know, this is some real life shit right now. Do you realize that 17 to 21-year-olds have they have lower testosterone levels than 80-year-old men had in 1971?
Didn't know that.
Let me say it again. 17 to 21-year-old boys right now have lower testosterone levels than 80-year-olds had in 71. Now, you can take what you want from that, but that is an epidemic in itself. That's the epidemic or the pandemic. It ain't no damn COVID. It's raising these boys to be girls. Let's keep it real. That's what we're doing. And if you're a Bible goer or you believe in the Bible, who's the head of the household? The man. And the wife is second over your own kids. So how are we allowing women to raise our boys to be men? It don't even make sense. It's not possible. And that's what we're doing at an all-time rate right now. And it's a lot more to it, man. I got videos out there that's viral right now, and I'm not going to mention it on your show, but I'm against a lot of this stuff, man. I think men need to raise men, and I think we're setting our boys up for failure right now when this world needs men, and we lack it right now. We're lacking men in this world, and it's evident.
We got a quarterback at Florida State right now. This is third school. And he was at the rival school at Clemson. He went to Oregon State, and now he's at Florida State.
And Blade, how do you recruit 3 5-star quarterbacks where we all used to have big time depth at QB? How do you recruit a big time position anymore? As soon as that one kid sees Quinn Ewers, oh, I'm out. I'm going to Oklahoma now.
If he get beat out, yep, he's looking.
It's crazy, man. Or even sign period. When he sees signing day and he signed 3 QBs on that class, them cats trying to get out. Look at the kid, Jaden Rashad or whatever. This cat saw the signing class and bounced and went to Florida. Then he bounced, went to Arizona State. Now he's bounced again. What was the kid's name? That West Coast California kid who played at Bishop Gorman and went to Ohio State, and then he went to Miami.
Tate.
Yeah, Tate. Look at that kid. Where'd he go? How many schools did he go to? How about the kid from SC that just finished at Rice?
DeMarcus Bowman, Diggle, from Lakeland.
No, the white boy. Who's the white boy? The quarterback.
Yeah, JT Daniels.
JT Daniels went to West Virginia, USC, Rice. Went to every school and he
Georgia.
touched every Power 5 conference in the country. He went to every damn Power 5 conference in the country. Come on, man.
Trying to play.
Hey, any questions in the chat, man, before we get them out of here, Blue?
Nah, man, we're good to go, man. We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate y'all, man, for real.
Hey, much love, man. Anytime. I got to get you guys on my show, man, one day.
Coach JB, man, where can they find you, man? Where can they find your show?
Man, Google. No, don't Google me. Man, the Coach JB show, man. Every morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific. The Coach JB show, YouTube, for the first thing up and running live. I got legends on the show, Eric Weddle, Tank Johnson. Sean King, Trent Richardson. They're on every one day a week. Their respective days. Brian Urlacher comes on all the time. We got legends that come on the show, plus our normal guys like Matt McChesney and Steve Kim, who's a Miami Hurricane guy, who's a boxing big time boxing analyst. He's on, gives us his stuff. So we get guys from all walks, man. And we give different perspectives, which we're not just some fluffy. We argue on it. You've seen viral videos of us, me going at it. We argue and really debate, but that's what grown men are supposed to do. Disagreements are supposed to create great conversation. Nowadays, you have a disagreement and you're the devil, or you're this or that. And you're seeing it, man, in society. It's tough. It's like Blade said, I grew up in an all blood neighborhood. I couldn't imagine going around and kicking with the homies that wore blue. And now look at what's blue. Republicans and Democrats are red. And now those cats used to be able to have a beer together and disagree about politics. Now them cats are ready to fight each other or kill each other. It's crazy right now out in this world. So. Man, find me on the realest show on planet Earth, Coach AB Show every morning. And then you can find me on Twitter, man, Instagram, all that stuff, TikTok. I'm everywhere, man. I'm in there somewhere talking shit.
Because if you can't recruit, hey, we all know you can't recruit.
Hey, man, Dan Lanning hit me up privately. Sark, everybody was like, man, if I could only say that you real, I would post that shit, but I just can't do it. You know what I
mean? Hey, we all seen it. Hey,
you know.
Where can they find you, man? What you got going? Where can they find you?
Oh, the Blade right now, man, in Southern Louisiana, man, Westgate High School. We got some good kids down here, man, and just trying to develop them to wherever they decide to go, man, they're going to stick with it, man, and battle the same way they doing here at Westgate. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was trying to express to them today. I'm always open, man. I've been on different podcasts and everything, man. But I'm just trying to keep it real. Really try to find the media into this thing, man. Bring the integrity back to the game. You know what I'm saying? These conversations are good. These conversations are good, need to be had as far as developing young men and young women. And that's all I'm trying to do, man, is I'm here to serve and try to develop them, man, be able to survive in life. The way things going right now, it's going to make them struggle, man, when they get out there in the real world. Because we know the real world is a wolf, man, to chew you up and spit you out in the whole nine. So we're just trying to get them to make the right decision and stick to your decision, man. Loyalty is as far as on the deal, man, and then fight through it. You know what I'm talking about? Earn your way. Get it from the mud, the bricks, however you want to word it. You know what I'm saying? Be able to do that, man. You ain't got to reinvent the wheel. And that's how you'll be able to be successful in life. Same way you did, Dig. Same way you did, Jack. Same thing you did, Coach JB, as we watched your show, man, weekly. As you did and developed. You took tough love. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we're talking about, tough love. No kids took that tough love. You know what I'm talking about? And they roll with it. They ain't take the tough love and like, oh, he fussing at me, or he yelled at me, or he ain't starting it, man. They took it personal, put a chip on their shoulder, man, and they earned their way. And that's what's going to really get them. Like you just said how many guys you had that was in the NFL, man, but that was developed from you. As far as how you've been down, how it was developed from me, from with Coach Andrews and Coach Bowden and Coach Amato, Coach Burnham, and all those coaches that I have. So I appreciate it, man. Like
Legends.
I wouldn't trade my era for nothing, man. I really wouldn't, man, because I got lifelong relationships with them guys. Them guys that hop from here, double dutching from this school to this school right here, man. They ain't down with them cats that they know. Like, matter of fact, we're not even staying together anymore. You know what I mean? We lived together when I was at Florida State. Now these guys got apartments and condos and all kind of things. You know what I mean? They don't even know each other, man. It's a straight business, kind of like, you know what I mean? Kind of like almost like the NFL type thing, but it hurts them, I think. You know what I'm saying? Just my opinion. I ain't saying I got to be right. I just think it hurts them in life, man, when they fall up on things that's adversity-wise, learning how to be able to grind through it, man, and work their way through it.
And I'll end it like this, Fred. Please find somebody, one of my players on Twitter, talking shit about me. I ain't never seen it. I ain't never seen it. And that's the crazy part. See, these cats on these naysayers all, oh, JB asshole. Well, why my players ain't never said nothing bad about me? Why do they talk? Why do they all come on my show? Why do I talk to them daily? 28 in the league right now, playing.
28.
10 first rounders. Why they ain't talking shit? You know why? Because they successful, they made it, and it was with me yelling at their ass, being their daddy away from home, and that's all it was. And guess what? You damn well know, and I tell these coaches every day, they mamas cuss their ass out harder than I did. So stop with the soft shit, man. Stop with the soft shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
these cats think I was hard on them. I'm like, nah, man, I gave them real talk. So, end of the day, man, unfortunately, these young brothers that I coach, they gonna end up working for a dude with my skin tone. So why would you put your future in another man's hands? And that's the thing I taught them. And they run with that. And the ones that were successful listened and did it. The ones that turned it down because they were too cool to fool, they unfortunately in jail. So,
Little slapdick ain't never hurt nobody.
nah, hell nah. Shit, we used to get hit with paddles and switches. Shit.
Appreciate you, coach.
Man.
All right, brother.
All love, baby.
But man, that is a wrap on this episode of the Coaches Lounge, man. For myself, for Coach JB, for Coach Fred, and for the Blade himself, we are out for right now.
Appreciate you, brothers, man.